Hello everyone and welcome back to Kdh Art Class. We are going to be making a color wheel and we're going to have primary colors, blue, red, and yellow. And we're going to create secondary colors. Ooh, that's the orange, green, and purple. But then we're also going to make something called tertiary colors. And we'll get into more of those details. So these are the things you need. You need paints. You can use the watercolor kits that you can find, which is great. You have all these colors plus the brush. Okay. Or you can use finger paints, poster paints. They are your tempera paints. You could even use acrylic paints if you're brave enough. Remember, acrylic does not come out of clothes and it likes to stick to things very easily. So with kids, it depends on how much experience they have with that and where they're working. Give them a throwaway shirt on a folding table or a card table, as we call it growing up, and they'll have just as much fun with it. But you only need 3 colors: blue, red, and yellow. Alright, so to make the color wheel, oh, and by the way, you're going to need something to mix on. I like to use paper plates. You're going to need some water to clean your paint brushes with. Alright. And to make the actual color wheel, I'm using something circular, and I'm using a straight edge like a ruler, and of course something to draw with. I'm also going to have the extra little circle here. That's going to be our tertiary colors. So I like to use the milk container. It's a little bit easier to create the color wheel this way, and it would be kind of fun looking. So anyways, let's get started. We have our circle. I'm going to make sure it's close to the center of my paper, maybe a little off center, because knowing me, I'm probably going to label everything over here. And you trace around it so you have a nice circle. Then we're going to divide this into 6 sections, so I'm going to do a nice vertical top to bottom. And then I'm going to make the letter X. So I'm going to make sure I kind of leave a bigger area, not too big, and I just make it go X. So that's like 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock and 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock type thing if you go by a clock. And as you can see, mine's not perfect. It's not perfectly lined up here. So I'll just do a cute little hide it. No, you don't have to. It's just going to bother me if I don't. I have big sections, small sections. That does not matter. Okay. Then I'm going to put a circle that on each line. Let's put it that way. On each line, I'm going to add a circle. Again, this does not have to be perfect. This is not our artwork. This is, however, our tool. So it's a learning tool. It's going to help us when we choose colors, how to create colors, as well as what colors to mix together to make new colors, or not mix together, because you don't want to make that muddy brown color, and so much more. You know, so we're going to focus a lot on color theory. Alright, so our primary colors. These are the ones you have to have. You cannot make these colors. You cannot make red. You cannot make blue. And you cannot make yellow. You must have these three colors. And once you have these three colors, these three primary colors, you can make a bunch of other colors. In fact, I tell the students, if you have these three colors plus white and black, you can pretty much make every color out there. So, from there, we're going to mix these primary colors to create secondary colors. Now what's neat about secondary colors is that they are second. It takes two of these to make one of those. So that's why they come second in line. You need two of these to make one of those. Oh, to make one of those. If you're looking at my fingers, two to make the secondary color. All right, with that in mind, in between our circles, I'm going to start off with R above this pizza pie slice. Then next to it, in between the circles, I'm going to put an O. And then I'm going to put a Y. And then I'm going to put a G between the circles, a B between those circles, and the letter P between those. Now I can also get super fancy, but right now we're just going to leave it like that. So we have circles and we have pie pieces. We're going to start with our pie pieces, and I've already demonstrated how to do the basic color wheel, 6-color color wheel with the watercolor paints on one of my other videos, so you can refer to that if you want. This time I'm going to be using the tempera paints to create. Now with the tempera paints, I'm just going to go ahead and add onto my plate, my palette, that's anything you mix on. I'm going to be adding my 3 primary colors. And I'm just going to put a little dollop of each, kind of in a triangle. I'm going to kind of cover up what I have here, because I like to reduce, reuse, and recycle as much as possible. Gotta save our planet. If we don't do it, nobody will. Alright, so I have a nice little glob. It has a nice little triangle. Interesting enough, it kind of matches my triangle here. In fact, it does match that. I like starting with the lightest color before my water gets dirty, and before that gets dirty, I'm going to go ahead and put it down. My lightest color in this case is yellow. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill my triangle in with the yellow paint. Again, you can use the watercolor paints. There we go. You can always add another layer when it dries off to make it darker. Or with the watercolor paints, less water makes it darker. So there's my yellow. Must clean my brush. I'm changing colors. And you want to test it on the side to make sure that the yellow is still not coming out of your brush, or whatever color you just used. In this case, we just used yellow. There we go. And you might also want to have like a paper towel or something to get the extra drips off. And that's a good way to see, did I get all my yellow out, or did my paper towel turn yellow? Red, find the R. So we put the yellow next to the Y. Red, find the R. And a lot of kids sit there and say, why does it look pink? So because your paper is white, and if you don't completely cover your paper up with a thick enough paint, the white paper makes our eyes think that white and red are mixing together, and that's how you make pink, is white and red. That's why you get that pink look when you're dealing with white paper. Okay, so what I like about these is they tend to darken up a little bit as they are drying. And again, if it still looks a little too pink, let it dry, and then as you start adding, and of course I didn't let mine dry, but you could add another layer to thicken it up and hide the white paper coming through so it looks less pink. Alright, clean that brush again. Trying to use the little bumps and edges all over this plastic cup to help squish it out of my brush. There we go. I think I did pretty good on that one. Blot it. Double check. Make sure my paper towel is not going to turn red. If it's turning red, then you need to clean more. Okay. Then our next thing is the last primary color, which is our blue. Find the B for blue. Then go ahead and fill in that section of your pizza pie piece here. That way it is all filled in. And again, you should be noticing it's like, oh, it looks light blue. Again, the white paper is making your eye think it's mixing with the blue. So you would add more and more layers. Again, allowing them to dry a little bit in between. And keep in mind, they tend to darken a little bit as they dry. Alright, so as you can see, it's looking more and more blue and less baby blue. Okay, from here we're going to move on to our secondary colors. Second means two. It needs two of these to make one of these. Now I tell the kids the instructions are on your color wheel. We went in a circle, a wheel shape. You know, like a tire on your car is round, or on your bicycle. It's like never ending. Alright, so now we want to make this O, our first secondary. Okay. So the instructions say we need R for red, plus Y for yellow, equals O. Let's find out what red and yellow make. In my little palette, I'm going to take some yellow and I'm going to put it in between, just like this is in between. Clean your brush. Lots of brush cleaning when we're doing this and any painting project. Dab it, and you're not going to need less red. Red is stronger, it's darker than yellow, so you need less of it. You'll probably do a little too much. To play it safe, I'm going to get just a little bit and I'm going to put it over here to the side. Okay, see how it's less red than yellow, and then I'm going to grab the yellow and kind of mix it in. Oh, it still looks too red. Grab a little more yellow and mix it in. My brush soaked it all up. Grab a little bit more yellow, and I believe it's all in my brush right now. There you go. Come on, squish out a little bit. And you're going to create your O. What is our O? It is orange. So we're creating orange by mixing yellow and red. I don't have a whole lot of it, but because my brush soaked it all up, there's my orange. Go, there is my orange. Now, we have a circle here. It's between the R and the O. So, we just discovered our secondary color is orange. O-R-A-N-G-E. Orange. Now, we're going to have tertiary. T-E-R-T-I-A-R-Y. Ooh, I have to double check the spelling of that one. So anyways, tertiary, T goes with 3. So tertiary, that means you need a secondary, which took 2 of those, plus 1 more primary. So in this case, we have 1 of the primaries, red, plus a secondary. So 1 plus 2, which is our orange, equals this one. Let's find out what it is. Now, the sad news is I used up all my orange, so I'm going to have to mix a little more. The good news is I still have a little bit of that yellow there. So I'm going to take a touch of the red and go ahead and mix them to make that yellow again, or excuse me, that orange again. There's my orange, and I have plenty left over. I'm going to cut this orange paint in half. On this side, I'm going to add the red, and on this side, I'm going to add the yellow, which is going to be this next one, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Alright, so I have orange, and I need to add red to it. So I'm going to take this red, and I'm going to mix it in with this half of the orange. And it's going to look almost red. So red plus orange equals, go ahead and put this in here. This is what we call red-orange. How original, because it's red and orange. We call it a red-orange. So my tertiary color is darker than my orange, but lighter than my red, because it's made up of the 2. So if you want to go ahead and write down red, orange, because red plus orange equals a red-orange. Alright, let's move on. So our next circle is orange and yellow. Well, we already have our orange and we cut it in half. Time to clean my brush. I now have to take the other part of the orange and add yellow to it. And we're going to make our next tertiary color. So we're going to take, I like to start with the primaries, yellow plus orange equals, and we'll have this one here. Take a little bit of this yellow and add it to that orange. and you're going to go ahead and fill in this little circle. There's a piece of my plate there. The plate is starting to dissolve on me. There we go. So you have created a yellow orange. It's lighter than this orange, much lighter than this orange, but it should be darker than your yellow. So very good. We now have red orange and yellow orange. So basically it's pretty much telling you what the ingredients are. It means we have twice as much yellow as we have red, or twice as much red as we have yellow when creating these oranges. Alright, so let's move on to our next. Actually, we need to make our secondary color first, don't we? Because we can't make this circle without this, and we can't make this circle without this. So, how do we do that? We're going to need yellow and blue to make the G. So, we're going to take Y for yellow plus B for blue, and it's going to equal G. I wonder what color is going to start with the letter G. Alright, let's find out. I'm going to take some of my yellow. Clean my brush because I don't want to dirty up my paints. Wipe off the extra little drips. And I'm going to take a touch of the blue. Notice it's less blue than it is yellow. And I'm going to start pulling that yellow into the blue. There we go. And we have a big pizza pie slice to fill with, yes, you guessed it, green. Oh, you guys are so smart. This is so wonderful. It's so fun making this. And like I tell everybody, this is not going to be your Crayola crayon green. This is going to be your special green, because you're putting your amount of blue and yellow in there to create your new green. There we go. So this is Miss Howard's green. And in my classroom, Susie's going to have her own green, and Bobby's going to have his green, and their greens are not going to look like my green because we each did the green mixing differently. So it's okay if it doesn't look like a crayon. We're good. We're just learning how to make the greens. We'll practice this all through this next 9 weeks. Okay. Just like we did the orange, we're going to cut the green in half, because we have 2 circles that need green. Oh, so let's come up here and finish writing in green. So yellow plus blue equals green. Right? Because it took 2 of these to make 1 of these. Then it's going to take 1 of each of these to make this. So we're looking at yellow and green. So Y for yellow plus G for green is going to equal this color here. That means clean the brush. Oh my goodness, lots of brush cleaning. There's little secrets to where you don't have to clean your brush every time, but I'm trying to create a good habit so that you don't mess up your paints. Alright, I'm going to take a little bit of this yellow and I'm going to mix it into this green on this side. And let's take a look-see into this circle. what it's going to look like. Yeah, remember, I'm only using half of my green. Alright, so it's darker than the yellow, but lighter than the green. That is your yellow-green. Get it? Yellow plus green makes yellow-green. It's just basically telling you how to do it. Now people get fancy and say, oh, this is chartreuse. This one might be, who knows what color, sunset Sedona, Sedona sunset, or whatever colors they want to call it. All of it's fine. Alright, so we still have the rest of our green, and we need to add blue to it to fill in this circle. Go ahead and add my blue over here. Mix it together. Might need a little bit more. Oop, might have added too much. We shall see. So, blue and green make that blue-green color. One of my favorite blue colors. I just think it's so pretty. So if you ever wanted to know how to do that teal kind of color, you're going to take your blue plus green, and it's going to make your blue-green color. Woo, we're running low on spaces here. I should have raised up my tertiary. Alright, clean that brush because we're moving along, and we have to make this secondary color by adding 2 of these. In this case, it's going to be the R plus the B, which we know is red plus blue equals, starts with a P. I'm just cleaning my brush. Dry it off. And let's find out. I'm going to start with the lightest color, which is red. So I'll need more of the lighter color. Clean my brush. Again, a good habit. Always clean your brush. Don't mess up your red, yellows, and blues, because once those are messed up, you're not going to ever be able to paint a yellow something or a blue something or a red something. It's all going to be mixed up. Okay, so I have my red. I'm going to take it less blue. Mix it together because the blue is stronger than the red. Looks like I didn't have enough blue. There we go. Alright, then I need to go ahead and color in this last pie piece. Starts with a P, and for my smart kids, they've already figured out purple. Yes, you guys are awesome. One of my favorite colors to mix, but the one I have the most trouble with. Mine always turns out a little too red when I first get started. But I can always fix it by adding a little more blue. There's my purple. So purple. P-U-R-P-L-E, purple. And now we have 2 circles left. Both of them need purple. So I'm going to cut my purple in half. And on one side of my purple, I'm going to be adding a little red to fill in this. And on the other side of my purple, I'm going to add a little blue to it to fill in this one. Alright, by now you guys kind of know the drill. I'm going to take some of that red and I'm going to mix it in with my purple. And then I'm going to make my nice maroon color over here. Maybe even a little burgundy color. So you get kind of this reddish purple, or red violet, red purple. It's almost magenta in a way, but it needs a touch of pink. So when I add the red plus pea purple equals a red purple. And then down here, when I add the B blue plus the purple, it'll equal, clean my brush, my last color of the color wheel. And that, my friends, is what we affectionately call indigo, but for the sake of this video, it is our blue purple. Because blue and purple make that really dark blue color. Not quite a navy, but a dark blue purple. It's not quite purple and it's not quite blue. So fill in the rest of this as blue purple. And keep in mind, people like to call things different colors. They might call this a burgundy and this indigo. They might call this a teal, this a chartreuse. This one that, you know, actually I usually call it a yellow orange, but they do have other color names out there. Yeah. And then the red orange, also like a sunset color. But that is your primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, and we couldn't have made all these other colors without red, yellow, and blue. From there, we made our secondary colors, were red and yellow. Remember, it takes two of them. Second, two, a red and a yellow made the orange, a yellow and the blue made the green, a red and the blue made the purple. And then from there, for our tertiary colors, we went ahead and added one of these plus one of these to make one of those. So I hope you enjoyed your color wheel. Hang on to this because it's going to tell us complementary colors, it's going to tell us analogous colors, it's going to tell us which ones are the fiery warm colors, which ones are the cool colors. And of course the primary and the secondary and the tertiary colors. It gives us a lot of information that's going to help us with our upcoming projects. Make sure you hang on to this color wheel. It is a tool, not necessarily an artwork, but you can turn it into an artwork once you understand how to make your color wheel. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to more color theory projects this next 9 weeks. Bye!